I walked into the restaurant expecting a warm welcome, but instead, my mother-in-law shot me a cruel smile, her voice dripping with disdain. "Maybe a dive bar suits you better," she sneered. I didn't flinch. I just asked for the manager. What she didn't know was I wasn't here to beg for a seat. I was here for something much more unforgiving. The beginning of the rot. When I first met Claire, she had extended her hand with false warmth. My then-fiancé's mother, polished, sharp, always watching. She studied me like a puzzle she intended to solve. And I, blinded by love, mistook her scrutiny for curiosity. She never said she approved, not once, but she tolerated me for her son's sake, slipping poison into her words only when he was out of earshot. "You'll never fit into this family. He deserves more." He defended me then, or at least pretended to. That's the problem with loyalty. It bends before it breaks. Cracks in the glass. At first, I ignored the changes, his late nights, his evasive answers, the new cologne he never wore around me. But indifference has a scent of its own. It reeks of distance, of someone rehearsing lies instead of sharing truths. The proof came easily, as it always does for those patient enough to wait. A message on his phone. Her name. Not Claire, not his mother. Worse. A woman she introduced him to. Hand-picked, groomed, and offered up like a gift. His mother's hand was all over it. When I confronted him, he didn't even deny it. Just silence, heavy and cowardly. And in that silence, my heart didn't break. It hardened. My silence became my weapon. They thought my quiet acceptance was weakness. I didn't scream. I didn't throw him out. I didn't collapse. I took notes. Dates, amounts, passwords he thought I didn't know. I copied statements, photographed papers. I tracked the money she funneled into his accounts, the gifts she framed as love, but were meant to chain him. And while they thought I was dissolving, I was planning. I hired an attorney who specialized in financial betrayal. I sold stocks she didn't know I had, liquidated assets she assumed were tied up. Quietly, methodically, I built my war chest. I filed for divorce on my terms. Custody wasn't an issue, we had no children. But the house, the accounts, the business I helped him build, those became mine, piece by deliberate piece. The stage was set. Tonight was no accident. I chose this restaurant for a reason. It wasn't neutral ground. It was hers. She'd paraded me here years ago, showing me where the real people of the city dined. Tonight, I returned the favor. When the manager arrived, I handed him a folder. Contracts, signatures, legal seals. Ownership transfer, finalized at noon today. He looked confused, then deferential. "Welcome, Miss Hart. Congratulations." Her smile faltered. She didn't know yet. But she would. The confrontation would. "Would you like your usual table?" the manager asked me, ignoring her entirely. Her eyes darted between us. "Excuse me, that's my table, my reservation." "Not anymore," he said, glancing at the papers. "The establishment has changed hands." I watched the realization crawl across her face, slow and merciless. Her empire wasn't her country club friends or her curated wardrobe. It was control. Control of her son, of appearances, of places like this where she could sneer and feel untouchable. And now, the ground had shifted. She turned on me, venom in her eyes. "You don't know what you're doing." "Oh, I know exactly what I'm doing," I said softly. "You taught me." The fall. She tried to recover, to mask the panic tightening her features. But panic doesn't stay buried, not when the staff, her staff, now looked to me for instruction. Not when the whispers began, rippling through the dining room as heads turned. Her reputation was currency, and I had just bankrupted her. As she rose to leave, her son, my soon-to-be ex, walked in. Perfect timing. He saw her standing, trembling, saw me seated at her table, the manager bowing slightly as he poured my wine. "Mom?" he asked, voice uncertain. She tried to spin a lie, but her lips trembled. I didn't have to say a word. He saw it. He saw all of it. The payoff. I didn't chase him. I didn't need to. He was a man trapped between two collapsing pillars, his mother's fall and my quiet, unflinching rise. Whichever way he turned, the rebel would bury him. I sipped my wine, watching her storm out into the night. The woman who once told me I would never belong had just been evicted from her own throne. The staff waited for my command. I simply nodded. Life would go on, but not hers. Not the way she knew it. The reflection. People ask if revenge heals. No, it doesn't heal, but it balances. I didn't walk into that restaurant tonight for a seat at her table. I walked in to take the table itself, to take the foundation she built her cruelty on and make it mine. And as I sat there, calm and steady, I finally understood.